We're just jumping straight on into the next series here, guys. We have, in the top right side, a blue Protoss player fighting for the Dragons, the Phoenix, and the Gamers. It is Zest. His opponent, on the bottom left side, dressed in red, he is the one and only LEENOCK. Known as the LEENOctopus. I believe he's still teamless. Correct me if I'm wrong, please do. But if I'm not mistaken, he is still teamless. Managed to get himself pretty far in this group, in this tournament here. Getting through his group up against Armani and Bjorn. Two very strong players. Zoun also in his... I'm going to try to get the pronunciation the way I hear the Koreans say it as well. Zoun having... I'm just all over the place now. Zoun having the thingamajig. I'm just so wired to say Zoun now. And then I'm going to say a combination of Zoun and Zoun, and then it's Zoun, and then it's Zoun suddenly. It's interesting, but we'll get it fixed over a period of time. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. What were we saying here? LEENOCK, yes. I believe he's still teamless. He had a couple of matches versus the Armani and Bjorn. He 2-0'd Bjorn, and he went 1-2 versus Armani. So, pretty good score right there. It's a tough opponent after all, Bjorn. Not somebody you can really... Joan? I think it's like Zone, they say in the... at least that's what the translator from the GSL is saying. So I'm kind of going with that kind of thing, that kind of thinking, right? He must be a smart guy. He's translating for the GSL for heaven's sake. And I believe he's saying like Zone. I don't know. I'll get it right one day. You know, he actually followed me on Twitter. Zoun. I'm gonna, you know, which is making me even feel worse about the fact that I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. I even asked him at some point in time and he told me. And it just, I don't know, it's just like a drained out of my head again. It's like, okay, I'll never forget this. And then it's next day it was gone. Just not there anymore. Okay, so Zest knows about this this overlord here. Needs to be careful not to suddenly start calling Zest Zone. John. I don't know. We'll work on it still. Maybe I'll just stick to my own thing. Really getting desperate now. It's alright. The Adepts sticking at their own base, not entirely certain what kind of treachery will be waiting as soon as they leave the front door. Hope he's going... Zest has been on fire lately, I think. I hope he's going to have a good run in the GSL. It would be really cool for him, right? It would be really cool. I believe this is the last season of GSL that he's going to be a part of. So it'd be nice to see him take some good names right there. Give us the Zest that we all know and love. Depth glaive attack. Depth glaive attack kind of, you know, being criticized a lot by a couple of people. I think against players like LEENOCK, right? He wasn't here for the majority of the Adepts meta. It might still work really well on him. This could be a weakness, right? It could be. Because he just hasn't faced it that much. But then again, if he's played ladder, he probably faced it quite a bit. He probably did face it quite a bit. Let's see how many workers he goes up to. It seems like quite a couple of them. Oh, yeah, he's droning up with a significant amount of drones here. Which could... Well, I think he might still be okay, because we did have the Stargate before, just straight up Twilight Council, right? So, it's a little bit delayed overall. The Roach Warren is still coming up. Won't be able to face against the first wave of Adepts though, and we still don't have Zerglings. Yeah, this is just not good. This is just not good at all. LEENOCK here now gonna have to try and solve this in an absolute crisis state. Those drones, maybe just run them out onto the map so the Adepts will either have to give chase and keep the rest of the units safe, or try and go elsewhere. Right, yeah, drones running out on the map. That's probably the best call right now. Queens, there's only 4 of them. Definitely a problem. The Adepts now will be starting to face against these Roaches, but they have found their way onto more drones. 11 of them so far have gone down, and the Adepts still in very high numbers. We have 2 more Stargates behind this being constructed as well as the +1 air weapons. These Adepts forcing out an enormous amount of Roaches. Actually, more drones now back on the production tab. 19 of them did go down, so LEENOCK now trying to replenish rather early on. The Adepts have been recalled back to the Protoss main base. So we will move into a triple Void Ray production queue here for Zest. Quite something indeed. And LEENOCK, wow, going for the Spire immediately afterwards. I want to know, did he send an Overlord in or something? No, he didn't. This is just the way he wants to develop this game. I'm not sure if he realizes the potential threat, because he has seen that first initial Stargate unit, right? The Void Ray. He might be under the assumption that, you know, a potential follow-up with air is possible. If he is, that is incredibly impressive that he's thinking ahead on such a scale. Very good. Truly shows the, you know, that LEENOCK has been playing this game for a really long time. He's not a new player. He still knows how these types of things work. And how a player might try to take advantage of him, you know, producing a lot of ground units, trying to deal with the Adepts. We have seen other players already make this transition as well, from the Adepts into a straight up big massive air army. So maybe LEENOCK reading into it from just potential being there. Not sure if it's going to matter though, since he is still losing a lot of stuff. He did lose a lot of drones before, and now he's losing more. He's lost his 3rd base by the 3 Void Rays running around. How many more workers did he lose? 25 now. Yeah, that's rough. That is very rough. He may even lose this other base as well. Do we have prismatic alignments? It's about to be ready again. The Queens are pretty far away. Okay, just targeting down to more drones even. It's guaranteed damage, right? The Void Rays may or may not have been able to take out the hatchery, but guaranteeing damage right now. Carriers versus the Mutalisk. Okay, this is now very interesting all of a sudden. With the Mutalisk on top of these Stargates, there's a couple of Roaches trying to carry their way into the natural base. So that's where the Stalkers are kind of preoccupied. And 3 carriers have been taken out. Phoenix now on the production tab, trying to gain control of the sky here. The Mutalisk need to be on top of their micro. More Phoenix will be coming in and slowly whittle this down to the bone. These Mutalisks, they definitely need to do more damage here. We need to do more probe damage, and I just don't see it happening anymore. I think we're gonna have Zest be the first victor, and that we have it. GG is called. Alright, in the top left side of the map, we have the man just grabbing his first point. It's the blue Protoss player, Dragon Phoenix Gamers, Zest. Bottom right side his opponents, the red Zerg. Teamless, but still can be quite lethal. It is LEENOCK. A little bit desperate there in that previous game. Now, to be fair, he was caught off guard entirely by those Adepts. I did like his air transition. I thought that was a clever way to approach that match from that point onwards, right? I'm not even sure if he was thinking about a transition into air from Zest, or if he just wanted to get his own transition going, hoping to catch Zest off guard. But, I mean, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from how we saw LEENOCK approach it, right? With those Mutalisks, he just flew them into the base and just try to sit on top of probes. He saw the 3 Stargates and he realized, alright, I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with this right now in order to even have a chance of dealing a lot of damage. Otherwise these carriers will just kill my Mutalisk too quickly. But yeah, tough things. The probe once again of Zest here being a little bit of a nuisance, causing that natural to go into the unnatural position. A natural probe look right there. Looking off the regular expansion place, but a quick 3rd base will be put down there anyway before we start any queens. So it's a pre-2 minutes 3rd base right there. Very greedy. See if he will be able to get away with it. No adapts the previous game, of course, that went across very early on. You all kind of stayed at the home base, but maybe this time around, Zest are going to think about that differently, seeing how he sees the timing of that 3rd base. Let's see what he will be going for. Let's see. No, okay, no adapts just quite yet. This is the first one. Okay, yeah, doesn't cancel the shade, so this is going across the map right now. It's only 1 queen, as we know. These queens, they were delayed significantly in order to get that 3rd base going a little bit quicker. Doesn't shade out of there either, just quite yet. Maybe hoping to trick LEENOCK into thinking that it would have shaded out, staying in the fog of war right there. Trying a little mind game. Smart little fun play there, but doesn't quite work out for him. LEENOCK on top of his drone control will be able to put them into a building. Or, well, put them into a state where they're becoming a building. Oh, get it! There we go. Thought the Void Ray would rotate around, try to get on top of that natural base, but not the case, not the case. Zest getting 2 drones right there in total. 2 Overlords as well, picked off by the Void Ray. So, you know, a little slight damage here and there being sustained by LEENOCK, but really nothing severe. Should still be in a comfortable position to continue onwards with this game. Losing a couple more drones though, 2 more go down there. And it is in a, you know, in a couple of situations where you don't think it necessarily should have happened, but I mean, it just kind of does, right? Those Oracles and Void Rays, they do just show up at certain locations where it's quite difficult to see coming from here, because you can't have your Overlords there, nor you can have them here, because the Void Ray will just kill them. Stuff gets annoying. Or a little bit less foreseeable for the Zerg. Oracle having a nice revelation right there. Just throw it about. 3rd base coming up for Zest. Having a couple of Void Rays, just clearing the areas, making sure nothing crazy is approaching him from his front steps. Still has the Oracle there as well, of course. Can sometimes just jump in, throw down a Revelation, keep tabs on the army composition of LEENOCK right now. So we are having a transition into the fleet beacon. Third Stargate and a robotics bay as well at the same time. Wondering where we're going to take this so far. We have 4 Void Rays, of course, available. He did stop the Void Ray production right now, which makes me think he might try to go into the carriers. Maybe carrier disruptor or something like that. Maybe a couple of Colossi first. We'll have to see. Keeping our eyes peeled on that production tab as now we have those critical tech structures completed. There's the carriers. Nothing quite yet coming out of the Robo just yet, as Zest prioritizing all his cash into the carriers. Doesn't quite have enough to start up more production right now. This is still... Oh, this is a scary moment though. 3 carriers in production, that's a lot of money just kind of chucked up, not really being able to do something here. Zest building a lot of infrastructure on the top side, and that is alluring LEENOCK towards the north here. I'm not entirely certain if he should try to spend this much time denying the 4th base. Maybe just a straight up attack onto the 3rd may have proved him more beneficial, but you know what? Zest lets all of this finish here, or a lot of it. Is he under the assumption that he will be able to save this? I don't think he should have been. Couple of... Oh, this could be bad. Oh, no, paying attention to the probes! The probes! It's only 9 of them, actually. I thought that would be worse. Did think that would be worse. There are drones dying as well. Zealot run by on the 6 o'clock right now. The Queen's struggling against the carriers, but doing alright against the low number of interceptors right now. Not sure if he wants to keep pushing here, though. Those Queens are gonna die. Just a matter of how and when. So maybe just keep running them forward in order to get the best trade possible. Transfusions, can he get that one Void Ray right here? 14 HP, come on! Nah, he doesn't quite get it. It's a lot of Queens going down for nothing. More Banelings and Zerglings showing some harassment. Will not be able to achieve too much. Wait a moment. Hold that thought. 2 Banelings. Oh, 1 or 2 meters apart from a very big stack of probes. Corruptus getting spotted here by the Revelation. So into Void Ray production we go. Void Rays, great units against those Corruptors, of course. And I do believe we will need to see some sort of a Spellcaster unit as well being involved into this army composition for LEENOCK before he starts taking any major fights, especially fights that are removed from Spore Crawlers and such. I don't like this. Oh, LEENOCK, no, sir, that is... not what you want to have happen here. Those Void Rays, they are quite speedy now. They are chasing your Corruptors quite quickly. Okay, they are turning around, getting 1 Void Ray at a time. But they are taking a lot of damage as well. Meanwhile, another Revelation hitting those Corruptors. The Corruptors stacked up together. Not entirely certain if he can or cannot win this fight. It's hard to call these types of battles, of course, with the air units stacked on top of each other. Let's take a look at the numbers here. 24 Corruptors now versus 12 Void Rays and 3 carriers. Let's see if this is going to be enough. A lot of Corruptors still coming in from all over the map, of course, as they are jumping in one by one. 7 drones and a hatchery have fallen. A couple of Banelings here, I believe, onto the probe line. Managed to get an alright connection. So a couple of probes do fall for Zest as well, but it's probably not something he worries about too much at this point in time. His army composition still 70 army supply strong and just marching across the map like no tomorrow. Oh, that is too many Overlords going down. That is going to supply block LEENOCK, and I think that is going to be the final nail in the coffin. I mean, if you're gonna have to make overlords now before making your corruptors when you're already 30 army supply behind, this is just not gonna end well anymore, guys. I think we're gonna have a clean victory here for Zest. The 2-0. LEENOCK just not really on par with Zest at this moment in time, it would appear. Zest coming in with some lovely strategies, though, and wouldn't be surprised to see Zest utilizing these exact strategies in the upcoming GSL.